Good afternoon, friends. I hope you all are doing good. So here I am going to give you a quick recap and brief recap of what we read in our classroom today. So we read about IV line, or we read about IV cannula actually. So before going into the IV cannula, let me tell you that whatever I told you in the class, let me recap that in a brief way here. When it comes to IV lines, we have two types of IV lines. One is central IV line, or central venous line, you can say it. Then after that we have peripheral venous line. Simply a central line is like an intravenous line, means we insert a catheter into the IV line, but here in a central line, the IV cannula or the IV catheter goes deeper into the veins, the deep veins that are into our body, and mostly it goes into the veins that are near the heart, or it goes just inside the heart, comparable to a peripheral venous line. That जो peripheral venous lines हैं, that are in the periphery of our body, that means superficially of our body, ठीक है. And the peripheral venous line or the IV cannulation, you can say, we call it by different names. When it comes to peripheral venous line, we can call it a peripheral venous line, we can call it peripheral venous catheter, we can catheterization actually, we can call it peripheral venous access catheter, we can call it peripheral intravenous catheter, PIVC, or simply PVC, that is peripheral venous catheter, and the procedure catheterization. So simply it is a catheter or the IV cannulation, but in the superficial or the peripheral lines of our body or the patient's body. So now coming to the instrument or the device that we use for these IV cannulations, we have peripheral venous catheter, that I already told you. Simply it is a catheter, flexible tube that is placed into the peripheral veins for venous access, or to administer the intravenous medication therapy, or sometimes to withdraw the blood samples from there as well. So then after that, the second thing that you need to know about the cannulas is that we mainly have four types of IV cannulas available with us in the hospital. First one is the IV cannula pen-like model. Then after that we have IV cannula with wings-like model, and the third type that we have is IV cannula with injection actually it's port model. Then after that we have IV cannula Y-type model, because its shape resembles to the Y alphabet. So here I am going to briefly show you how these different types of IV cannulas look like. So the first type that we have is, we have pen-like model, and here is how it looks like. Then after that we have IV cannula with wings model, and here is how it looks like. And the third type that we have, and we have available in the hospital commonly, is with injection part model. And the last type is the Y-type model, and here you can see how it looks like. And the last thing that we read in our class is related to different sizes of, and different sizes of IV cannulas, and the gauze number it carries with it, or it has the color coding they have, and the diameter of the external diameter that they have, the length they have, and the flow or the fluid that they can deliver per minute. And lastly, the recommended uses, if we have different color coding or different gauze number, which gauze is recommended for what procedure, or in what conditions we can use different types of IV cannulas. So we discussed all this detailed in our class today. So inshallah, in the next class we are going to study or learn how do we do the IV cannulation, and what are its parts, and what is the proper procedure to do the IV cannulation, and how to find the IV line in an expert way. For now, Allah Hafiz.